let's move on to probably, I say, the most controversial topic for Kingdom Hearts 3, because when we sit around for so long and have nothing else to think about other than trying to figure stuff out for Kingdom Hearts 3 and just Kingdom Hearts in general, we start overlooking everything, or we start analyzing the hell out of everything. And I understand some people do this because that's what they do for like streaming, speedrunning, and that's perfectly fine, but I think just over time, the whole community just starts tackling one subject once somebody brings it up that's slightly controversial. And this time, it's the combat for Kingdom Hearts 3. I know this is actually a decent topic because combat is a big thing for Kingdom Hearts. It's been probably the most diverse thing out of all the games because it's been, I think, pretty much different in almost every game. There's been bigger aspects added on to things in each game. We've had cards, we've had the regular Kingdom Hearts combat, and even 1 and 2, there was a huge gap in between those. Just how smooth it was, how the combat actually works. Kingdom Hearts 2 is a lot more up in the air combat, and the other in Kingdom Hearts 1 is more down on the ground. So even the style of combat, even if it's the same, has changed a lot over the games. And this one, honestly, it, like I think Nomura said, it's a conglomeration of a lot of the games. But it's not, I think, that aspect that some people are worried about. It's more the speed and feel of the combat. And I think, while Osaka team hasn't been the best with the combat, I think they've improved a lot. I think as long as it's at the level of 0.2 or better, which I think it'll be better because they will have more time on the combat and it'll be smoother, I'm perfectly fine with it. I don't need the exact Kingdom Hearts 2 combat down to the T, and it doesn't even have to be a slightly upgraded version of Kingdom Hearts 2 combat. While I love that combat, I mean, it's in general kind of why I keep coming back to the game because it's so fun to play. If it's anything better than Birth by Sleep and Dream Drop Distance, I will be happy, because the only reason those two games aren't as replayable is because of the combat, honestly. To me at least, because it's not as smooth, it's slower, it's clunkier, there's a lot of unbalancedness from it. It's not the best, and as this has been pointed out a lot. Now, I still like the games a lot, I like playing them, but they're the reasons I can't go back to it. Kingdom Hearts 2's smooth combat, and even Kingdom Hearts 1, while it's not like smooth, I just like the style of combat more. And I think as long as Kingdom Hearts 3 does that, it'll be perfectly fine. I'll probably play it a ton of times. And the story's good. I'll talk about that in a minute too. But as long as it's just, in general, better than those two games, I will be happy. There's more things I want to talk about than just that. But I can understand some of the problems some people have so far with it, because there are smaller things in it that don't make sense, and camera-wise, it's worrying. But, yeah, let's move on. The combat does look, without a doubt, a lot flashier than I think it should be. I think Osaka likes their flash more than their actual focus on the combat. Just like I mentioned in the analysis trailer, he does do a combo, or not a combo, he does do a finisher that is quite slow. Takes a good 4 seconds to do, and you're kind of stuck in the air. Again, it's going to come down to how many other combos there are that you can change them out, because I think some people are forgetting that this is most likely going to be the combat style or abilities changing style of Kingdom Hearts 1 and Kingdom Hearts 2. I'm sure there are going to be changes to it, but you're going to be able to equip and unequip abilities. I think people are forgetting about that because we haven't had it in so long. We've had Dream Drop Distance version and Birth by Sleep version, and then we've had Key, and it's just, we haven't had that in a long time. He hasn't confirmed it, but I'd assume we're going back to Kingdom Hearts 2 style. So we'll be able to change abilities out. Oh, there are going to be a lot more combo finishers and better ones than that one, but I just hope there aren't for show rather than actual working in the combat. And moving past combat, I do think a lot of people think the combat of the game is the only part of the gameplay. And while yes, it is the bulk of the game, Kingdom Hearts 1 had a lot more than just the combat. They had miniature puzzles, they had traversing the world, they had to find new areas, and I think that is a big aspect to this game that could really improve from Kingdom Hearts 2. Yes, the combat in Kingdom Hearts 2 is undoubtedly, to me, the best out of all of them, but there is more than that. There can be, give me an engaging story, give me a world to explore, side quests, unique ways of using my abilities, fun little minigames, and then just a good fun hack and slash gameplay that so far Kingdom Hearts 3 looks like it has. Some people only see the hack and slash gameplay as the only part of the gameplay and mechanic in the game. If this game can sell me on these other things past the base gameplay being fun, then I already like it more than 2, honestly. If it just gives me maybe a step or 2 below the Kingdom Hearts 2 combat, or combat with its own fun, unique feel, and it actually has places for me to explore, and all that stuff, then I honestly like it more than 2 already. I can truly appreciate and love Kingdom Hearts 2 for its gameplay, but it lacked in a lot of ways in a few of these aspects I mentioned, and that is where the game can truly improve. I don't think a lot of people get stuck in the mindset of thinking that gameplay of the hack and slash aspect is the only sort of gameplay that the game has. There can be other aspects to it. And so far, again, with 0.2, we actually see that there are puzzles inside the game. While they're not the hardest thing in the world, it's a lot more than almost any game other than Kingdom Hearts 1 had for puzzle-wise, and I like the puzzles. And also, somebody pointed out that in one of the Kingdom Hearts 3 trailers from E3 that there are like flame-like jewels that are all different colors, and that could, right there, could be its own puzzle, and that could be interesting, because honestly, it makes sense. Why would they all be different colors? Maybe you're supposed to match them up to be a certain color for open a door or something. That could be interesting. And I'm fine with these new additions, such as in the toy store we get a ride in a mech, stuff like that. I mean, it's probably not going to be my main form of combat, but it's supposed to be a gimmick thing you just go in and have fun with. You're not supposed to take it that serious, and I like that these new aspects are in the game. They apparently, each one on each floor in the Toy Story Land is going to have these little gimmicks and stuff, and it's going to be fun to play around with them. And I'm glad they're in the game. I want them to be a choice more than anything. I'd rather them not be forced on me to where I have to do it. I mean, if there are sections like a parkour section or something where we have to use it to get from place to place, that's not that bad. I more mean like bosses. I don't want... Okay, also, if you're gonna do that like parkour, trying to get placed with the robots, make it fun, make it easy to use, because I don't want to get frustrated on it, because again, that's not my main focus in the game. The main focus is still hack and slash, but I don't want these smaller areas to be frustrating. Make fun mini games. Don't make ones where I just don't care and find it frustrating more than anything, because I just want to get through it. Make it fun. If it's not fun, then yeah, I'm back to I just want the hack and slash aspect to it. But also, don't make gimmick boss fights. I don't think many people like gimmick boss fights. Don't make me fight in a mech to fight these bosses. Don't make me fight Zurg in a mech. I feel like Toy Story is like the perfect mindset for gimmick boss fights, because he's actually saying these floors have gimmicks on them. So hey, you know, the boss fight, you've got to use every single one of these to fight the final boss fight. Yay. I wouldn't be a fan of that. Especially if you have a really bad gimmick that nobody likes and you make them use it. That is the epitome of bad gimmick boss fights. If you don't like the gimmick and you gotta use it, then that's not good. In my opinion, I would not be having fun with that. But aside from the base combat and some gimmicks and stuff, we do have additions to the combat. We have forms and transformations. Well, forms technically aren't new, but transformations of the Keyblade, which are basically command styles. And overall, I am a bigger fan of drive forms, or I'm a fan of how drive forms are activated. I like knowing exactly when I can activate a form and when I cannot. If I don't have the party members, I can't do it, but if I have the bar and the party member, I can do it. In this case, we can't so far tell how long it takes to get into a command style. The other games, I didn't look at it that hard, but it seemed pretty random at times, and you couldn't choose, but at least now you can choose when you go into a form or not. But I still like having it where I can just like pop in the battle, go in the form if I need to, rather than having to go and get a combo off or get a certain chain of attacks to go into the move. I'm not that big of a fan. I think I'd be better fine with it if it was just for magic that you could do that, but it's more for everything. Take it away from the transformations and keep it for magic, and I think that's a good balance between the two. Because you still have magic finishers if you don't want to use that other finisher that they give you. So it's a good balance between the two, or I wish there was another way to activate the forms outside of getting a combo. I'm not really sure how that would work. Maybe you can use your bar and you could still have a combo that goes. I think the option of having two ways to doing it would be nice. If you don't have the bar, but you could still use a combo to get into the form, that would be kind of cool. But I don't think they're going with that thought. Either way, I don't hate the command styles, I just think there needs to be a better way of balancing it rather than what we've seen so far, I've seen him go into the form after a 3-hit combo, and then other times it took longer. So it's hard to tell the balance between the two. It's just, I think, a lot more random than it should be. Again, these are trailers, so we can't see exactly how it works. They might have made it harder at times to get the combo or the dry form, and then other times they made it easier. We can't tell at this point, but we also have attraction flows, which will activate apparently only in certain areas according to Nomura, and at certain times, and it depends on the area what attraction you'll get. As we've seen many times, we get the train, especially at the Rock Titan. We'll get that train at that damn Rock Titan, you better believe it. And overall, I don't care for them that much. I mean, they kind of look cool, but I don't really care about flying around on Dumbo to fight the Rock Titan, or not the Rock Titan, fight Evil Baymax if we have a dark form Evil Baymax. I don't want to fly around on Dumbo, especially if it's completely random. That especially feels like a gimmick. I mean, I guess you might as well use it if it's random, and I don't know how often that randomness will be, but I guess you might as well use it when you get it, because it's gonna do some random damage. It'll look cool, but again, that feels like a gimmick that overall I don't think is needed. But it doesn't hurt anything that is there, as long as you get to choose to use it. And that's the big thing, I think, is gimmicks have a choice to be used or not. So overall, they look cool, the animations look great, but I just don't see how game-changing, or if changing at all, it will be. Nonetheless, with the company of conglomerating a bunch of different aspects to the gameplay, we also have flow motion. I think it's called, right now, athletic flow, and it seems like they're actually combined with shot locks, which are also brought back. And apparently, according to Nomura, flow motion won't be as free. I said this in the analysis video, but he doesn't want them to be as free because in combat they could kind of get annoying. It's like I'm trying to dodge away and then all of a sudden I'm flow motioning attacking. I mean, it can be I mean, you can get some good damage off of it, but if not what you are planning to do, you're trying to do a certain thing in a boss battle and then you start flow motioning, it can throw you off. I can understand that. Moving around the map was great for it, but I understand why a lot of people didn't like it, because it can throw you off if you don't want flow motion. And he said it won't be as free, so that is a good thing. Can't see exactly how much we'll be using it. We can use it on the Rock Titan apparently, but how do we activate that? We haven't really used it outside of battle, aside from shot locks, where you can shot lock onto enemies and dash toward them and stuff like that. So we've only seen like 2 or 3 instances where we can use it, and that's about it. So I don't know how prominent it is going to be in battle. I don't know if it's going to be the exact same thing in battle where you run into a wall and you attack, but I assume not, because he said he's changing that. It's hard to tell. I'm glad flow motion's back because it was great, but I hope we can actually use it in a different way this time. It's like, you can use it, but you have to upgrade it to maybe do different things later on. It's like, again, I've mentioned this, Kingdom Hearts 1, you came back later after you got certain abilities. Upgrade your flow motion, and by the end of the game, you can get to pretty much anywhere you need to where it was locked before. That would be really nice. Again, I think growth abilities are probably going to come back. I would assume so. They've been in almost every game, so it'll be really strange to not have them back. And also maybe make it, growth abilities have their own growth to them as you can come back later, where you couldn't use flow motion to get to them. I don't know, I think different aspects like that are nice. Having to come back to worlds are nice. That's a big thing I think a lot of people liked about Kingdom Hearts 1. Or maybe some people are frustrated about it. But I heard a lot of people like the fact that you come back after you get your growth, kind of Castlevania style. I like that. Grow, come back, get new stuff. We'll also hopefully have different ways maybe of traveling around worlds. If they're as big as we may think they are, especially in San Francisco, Tokyo, I can't remember the name of that. Maybe we'll be able to fly around on Baymax. I think a lot of people are having that idea. I think we will definitely use Baymax to fly around and fight things. It'll be kind of like the shot locks that we saw at Hercules when we were grinding. We could shoot at things. I'm going to assume that's how it's going to work. I don't know how much will be kind of a Star Fox thing. I don't know how much we're going to be able to actually control Baymax there, but that'd be kind of cool outside of battle if we could like fly around on him. That'd be pretty neat. Again, I don't know how big the world's going to be, so it could be useful or it could be just more like a gimmick, but either way, that'd be pretty cool. I'm pretty sure you could have different ways of doing that in the other worlds too. We're not going to get aggro again, but we could have had it like we could fly around on carpet to places. That'd be pretty cool. And magic so far does actually look pretty impressive. I think he's hiding spells right now because we've only seen, I think, 4 or 5 spells. I know we have Arrow, Fire, Blizzard, Thunder, and Cure, obviously. The 5 spells, I believe, other than Arrow that we got in 0.2. But I think he's hiding all the other spells because, really, I don't think he's going to cut down the spells for this game. I'm pretty positive we're going to have Magnet. That is a big spell host back. I doubt Reflect's going to be back. We've had a variety, especially in Birth by Sleep. There are so many spells, so we haven't seen a lot of the spells as of now. I just hope Magnet is back. I mean, having to Reflect it would be nice, but again, balance is one thing we still have to question about with the Osaka team. Because I feel like Reflect was a one thing Tokyo kind of got wrong with Kingdom Hearts 2. No, it's an amazing skill and I love it, but it's probably one of the more broken things in the game. So I feel if Osaka is going to get Reflect, I hope they can balance it, but it hasn't been in any of the games past that, so I doubt Reflect will be back. But again, I don't think we've seen all the spells yet, so I'm thinking there's going to be a variety of those. I just hope Magnet's back because that was a very useful spell. Also, the multiple party members, really nice addition, not having to cut anybody out. My biggest hope is probably the main thing. I mean, I love having all these party members. It's really cool fighting with all of them. I just hope the AI is better. That is probably the biggest aspect. You could have kept the base party members you had before, but if they have shitty AI, they're still useless to me. I'll say Kingdom Hearts 1 seemed to have better AI than Kingdom Hearts 2. I swear Donald healed me at better times in coordination with what I was doing in that game than in 3. I hope there's also going to be aspects like in Kingdom Hearts 1. You kind of had it in Kingdom Hearts 2, but I felt it was better utilized in 1. We had a menu where you could tell what each one to do, like play defensive or do this at this situation or something like that. Hopefully more advanced commands for AI so they won't act freaking stupid, and their healing is consistent. I think healing, honestly, is the biggest concern for me, just in general. When fighting Lingering Woe, when I was fighting him the other day, I swear Goofy didn't know when to heal me. Donald's obviously always dead, but Goofy sometimes healed me when I hit red, and then half the time when I hit red, he doesn't do anything. Whenever I hit red, I want him to heal me literally no matter what. Right when I hit red, heal me if you have potions ready. That's mainly my main aspect for AI. I think the biggest damage outside of healing that they can do are with Links, what it looks like it's going to be this time, or Trinity's, what it used to be. It looks like it's going to be Links this time. Those are going to be the biggest damage outside of that. Otherwise, they're kind of hit fodder. They don't seem to do a whole lot, so I just don't want them to get in my way or get me killed and to heal me. Those are the biggest aspects for AI I want them to have. I want to fight among all 5 of these guys because I think, again, adding more enemies also kind of needs to be balanced out with you having more teammates, and that's what they're doing here. They're adding more teammates because there's going to be so many more enemies, so they can, I would say, less be able to kill them, but more just be able to be, what's the word? They're triggering their focus. They'll be the ones that getting attacked rather than you getting attacked all the time. So I think that's more of why we can have multiple partners now, is because there's gonna be so many more enemies. And I like that a lot. I just still would love for there to be better AI. And lastly, the big thing, it's not a big thing, what am I talking about? Gummy ships are back. I like gummy ships. I don't hate them. Kingdom Hearts 1, okay, I hate those. Those are freaking garbage. Building the ships is kind of cool. I really still never played it, or played around with it, except for when I was younger. It's still cool though, but Kingdom Hearts 2 advanced gummy ships a whole lot. It was so much better. At least it was entertaining to look at, if nothing else. But they are coming back for Kingdom Hearts 3, which, hey, if they make the giant jump from Kingdom Hearts 1 to Kingdom Hearts 2 in that sense, then this will be the next Star Fox. Okay, maybe not there, but it will be so much better. So I'm kind of looking forward to it. I still don't know how much I'm going to play with it. It depends on how good it is. If it's amazing, then I'll be happy to do it. I mean, I like diving, and honestly, the other games, I like diving. That was fun. So I don't despise the way they're doing things now, like dives, and again, Kingdom Hearts 2 gummy ships. They weren't the most painful thing in the world. I liked them. So if you can just advance past that and make them even better, I'll be happy with that too. Just don't make it a burden to get from world to world. And if anything, make it fun. But one last thing I almost forgot to mention in probably the most worrying aspect to me for combat in general is the camera. If you notice, I'm also pointing this out in the D23 analysis, like I've done multiple times in this video so far, is that one scene where Sora is locked onto enemies, or is locking onto an enemy in his wisdom-like form or magic form, he basically goes off the screen. And this is the point of which the camera in Birth by Sleep comes into play. In Birth by Sleep, the camera focuses on the enemy more than it does you, and you can literally almost walk into the background as your character. Your character is not the center of the screen or the focus. In Kingdom Hearts 2, you are the focus. Your character is the focus. You can run a little to the side, but you are the main person it's looking at. And that's good because you need to know where you are, what you're doing. And it's kind of hard to more control your character when he's way in the back and you're focusing on the enemy. And that looks kind of like what it's doing here in this trailer. But luckily in 0.2, it looks like the camera isn't as good as Kingdom Hearts 2's camera, but it's better than Birth by Sleep. So hopefully, it will be a more clean version of 0.2's camera, or heck, Kingdom Hearts 2 camera in general. So just wanted to say that is maybe a slight worrying side for me, but other than that, I think we're good, as long as it's just kind of like 0.2's camera or a little better. So I think as of now, unless I think of something while I'm editing this, that's probably about it for the combat for now. I really like what it looks like as of now. It looks fun. It looks decently fast. It looks faster than the other games. It's just going to depend on, I think, if it's not going to be Kingdom Hearts 2 combat. I think some people just need to kind of wipe that off their slate. It's not going to be the exact same thing. It's not going to be as smooth as that. And I'm fine with that. As long as it's, again, a better than Dream Out Distance and Birth by Sleep, I'm perfectly good with that. Be better than 0.2, and I'll be very happy. It looks fun, it was fun, and yes, there are things that can be smoothened out, and I think there will be in 3. It's just, we gotta have some faith. Osaka, you're doing better. Just keep getting better. And also try to balance the game. That'd be good too. Nonetheless, I do like how the combat looks right now. It just looks fun. Also, big thing, bosses, please, bosses. Bosses, aside from atmosphere, bosses are the big aspect for me playing the games, and I want them to be good. And they were awful in Dream Drop Distance and Birth by Sleep. So Osaka, please make some good bosses. You showed some glimmer of hope in 0.2. Some of the bosses were awful. The final one. And then the other ones were pretty good. Aqua's battle was pretty good. So I have some hope for that. Just make good bosses, please. Don't make them bullshit. Make me beat them, not them beat me. That'd be good. But yeah, otherwise, I have confidence. Come on, Osaka team.